pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this morning we're pleased to have with us Brother Tim Lucas from the Irvington Baptist Church in New Orleans.
Let's pray together. Gracious God, we give you thanks for the privilege of assembling here. We thank you that you have guided us and you have providence over us in all of our lives. And we pray for guidance for our judge, these magistrates, these public servants. We pray for safety and grace as they do their duties today and always. We lift up our community to you, that you would guide us, be glorified in what we do, that you would strengthen us and help us to work for the good of our citizens and for your glory. Father, we just pray, lift up a world to you in need and hurt, state, community. Father, that you would just protect us, heal us, guide us, and encourage us. Father, we just thank you for the privilege of coming together. Father, I pray for the proceedings today, that you would be in this place, that you would be with each person here, that you would just bless this community. In the name of Jesus our Lord, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Tim. Okay, at this time we'll call to order. We have a public hearing on our tax rate. So we'll call that meeting to order at this moment. Is there anyone here that would like to discuss the tax rate or us setting? We're going to set that later on in here in this meeting. Is there anyone that would like to address that? Anyone in the crowd? Okay, if there is not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn that public hearing meeting.
Second.
Okay, you make the. Okay. Squire Greenwell makes a motion and second by Squire Henning. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we'll call the regular meeting to order. Have roll call, please.
Squire Armstrong.
Here.
Squire Bevan.
Here.
Squire Greenwell.
Here.
Judge Lucas.
Here.
Squire Albright.
Here.
Squire Moore. Squire Henning.
Here.
Squire Moore, actually, he'll probably be here any minute. He had an eye appointment in E-Town, and he at 7:30, so he's probably on his way back or very close. So he'll be joining us very shortly, hopefully. Okay, at this time we'll continue on. The next item of business is approval of minutes of the July 17th meeting, and I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I move so.
Okay, motion by Squire Albright, is there a second?
I'll second.
Squire Bevan, any questions? Hearing none, take a vote, please.
Squire Armstrong.
Yes.
Squire Bevan.
Yes.
Squire Greenwell.
Yes.
Judge Lucas.
Yes.
Squire Albright.
Yes.
Squire Moore. Squire Henning.
Yes.
This minutes are approved. Next item of business is the transfers, and I'll entertain a motion to approve transfers. There's a few.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by Squire Henning, is there a second? Second Squire Armstrong, any questions? Hearing none, take a vote, please.
Squire Bevan.
Yes.
Squire Greenwell.
Yes.
Judge Lucas.
Yes.
Squire Albright.
Yes.
Squire Henning.
Yes.
Squire Armstrong.
Yeah, all yes, is the transfers are approved. Next item are the claims. I'll entertain a motion to approve claims.
I have a couple of questions on,
Yeah, can you move the whole?
on the truck that we've got bought.
Yes.
So we haven't got that yet, right?
No.
Do we really need a 3/4 ton truck for that?
Well, it's actually cheaper than the 1500 series. That's why the 2500 series.
Cheaper?
Cheaper than the 1500.
Really, what was the bid on the 1500?
I don't know, I didn't ask him when he told me that. He said the availability of 1500 wouldn't be until the end of the year too. So that's why we went with the 2500 series. They're gonna put a box on it, so the heavier duty, I think, would be better anyway. So, anyway.
We always, before, like at the road garage, we always got used vehicles. Or any reason we decided not to?
Well, we've been buying used ones, and of course, they hopefully will take care of this one.
Personally, I think we need to get away from buying used vehicles myself, but
Well,
that's what we'd always done.
We always, the only trouble with the road department, we can buy a new one in a year, it looks like it's 20 years old. You know that, and I know We all know that. That's the problem with it. The nature of what they use it for, it's not gonna be kept maintained or cleaned especially. So hopefully they will keep this clean, I hope.
So this price doesn't include the toppers.
No. We've got, I think 65,000 is what we got.
It was cheaper than but usually by them work, 1,500 is pretty reasonable.
Well, there's nothing reasonable anymore. If you check around, I mean, and that's actually the state bid contract on it too. So the $49,000.
Dan didn't have anything out here.
Well, Bachman is the ones that contract.
Oh, Bachman's just thinking.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's the deal.
Okay, I have another question.
Uh-huh.
Could you explain that claim on the opioid settlement
Yes,
a little bit?
that's Silver League. If you remember Jillian, she's not here this morning, but anyway, she actually presented to us about the purpose of what they do. And the opioid settlement, we have to use it for specific purposes. We can't use it for just anything. So we need to start dispensing that as well too. If we don't, we lose it. So there's no need to lose it. We had talked about the Get Talent, maybe Hope Academy and some other, I think those three is all we've talked about so far. But, you know, we need, rather than have to send it back.
We got a lump sum last year, and then through the next, how many years, 5, 6, 8 years,
yeah,
we'll get a
it's more
certain
than that.
amount, so we've got to track it and.
That is kind of legal, or
Is this like a donation to them?
Well, it's a contribution, yeah, which is your
Yeah,
donation.
but it's using that opioid money.
Right.
Yeah, if we don't use it, like I say, we lose it. And it is-
Statutorily, there are certain things that it can be used for. So we have to find organizations that are gonna use that money to accomplish those purposes. Most of them dealing with like drug addiction, trying to reduce drug issues, violence caused by drug issues, things like that. So I would say that's why Silver League is a good option to
Yeah,
explain some of that.
They are a qualified recipient of it as well.
that's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, it's okay. Any other questions before I ask for?
The investor development grant, did we get that grant? We did, yes.
For- That was one we applied for, already been approved for, 496. Okay, any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, we got a motion, yeah.
I know, it's a motion.
Okay, I'm gonna move.
Okay, motion by Squire Greenwell, or second? Second, Squire Armstrong. Any other discussion? Hearing none, okay, roll call.
Squire Greenwell.
Yes.
Judge Lucas.
Yes.
Squire Albright.
Yes.
Squire Henning.
Yes.
Squire Armstrong. Squire Bevan.
Yes.
Claims are approved. Next item is the magisterial, it'll be the first item, new business, magisterial reapportionment. This is our favorite thing to do every 10 years. There, Squire Henning, you wanna mention, Mike Robinson at Lincoln Trail Ave, he redrew the 2nd and 6th district, is the only two involved, is that correct? Brad?
Yes, that is correct. The 6th district, in my opinion, could have been condensed down some. So that's what Mr. Robinson done. And it was pretty much only a direct swap between the 2nd and the 6th. And it actually got our numbers closer than they were originally between all 6 districts. So I propose that we accept those changes.
Yeah, I don't have a problem, like I said, it's left up to you guys as far as the way your all's districts are redrawn. Any, Shane, is there any problem with you on the second? You're okay with it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, like I said, I don't have a problem at all with it, so. Are you gonna make a motion to that effect to accept these redrawn districts?
Yeah, I'll do that. I make a motion to accept the new drawings.
Is there a second to that?
I'll say.
Second, Squire Bell. Any
So
other?
all other districts stay the same except for your changes, correct?
That is correct.
2 and 6?
Yes.
Okay, any other discussion before we vote?
Well, actually, I mean, I took a little bit from the 3rd district, and the 3rd district took a little bit from the 4th district. This is just a revised version.
Okay,
But,
so how about
That was in the
with?
first proposal.
The first,
Okay.
yeah, that's what I was
but
gonna
that's
say.
still in.
Yeah, what we're looking at
Well,
now
with
is just strictly the
changes.
2 and 6, okay.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, take a roll.
Squire Albright.
Yes.
Squire Henning.
Yes.
Squire Armstrong.
Yes.
Squire Bevan.
Yes.
Squire Greenwell.
Yes.
Judge Lucas.
Yes. I think the next step, we advise Mike, he does all the legal part of it, so, good.
Do we need to be having first reading of that?
We just, that's all we have to do.
We don't have to.
Okay, so we don't actually have to
No,
have first reading.
we've got a timeline here, so you all had until September 14th to amend or adopt. So we just adopted with those changes.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to the next item, and that's the setting the 2023 property tax rates.
Here's what you've got to read. This is the new property you advertise, but the personal watercraft and motor vehicle will all stay the same.
I'll say the same. Okay, so I'll start calling.
Okay, let's see, the tax rate levied last year was 11.2 and produced revenues in the amount of $1,395,538. This year's compensating rate is 10.9 and will produce revenues in the amount of $1,358,158. The Breckinridge County Fiscal Court proposes a tax rate of 11.3, which will produce a total revenue of $1,407,998. The revenue expected for new property is $19,265. Revenue from personal property is $263,802, and revenue from motor vehicle is $259,091, and revenue expected from watercraft is $35,006. So your new property rate is 11.2, the personal stays at 13.1, watercraft stays at 13.1, and motor vehicle stays at 13.1, which were the same rates as last year.
10.3, right? You said
No,
11.2.
13.1.
No, the 11.
11.3, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, 11.3, I'm sorry, yeah.
And the reason being, we take this strictly compensating rate, we get actually $37,380 less than we did last year. So we don't want to go backwards, so 11.3 gives us actually, this is not much, but $12,460 more. So it's minimal when you raise it a tenth of a percent or whatever, or a tenth of a cent, I should say. But, so that 11.3, and then the personal watercraft and motor vehicle all is 13.1.
So we were at 11.2 last year.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
So if we go to 11.3, like I say, we get $12,000 more. So it's not a substantial amount. At least we're not going backwards. That's what we.
Could we not leave it 11.2?
We could. I would strongly recommend just going to 11.3. The $12,000 not going to make a difference on anybody's tax rate. They're going to see minimal, if any, difference on it. So that's what.
And we haven't raised anything.
No, but I don't think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stayed the same, so we haven't been fluctuating much at all. But the compensating rate, like I say, gives us $37,000 less. So if that's suitable with everyone, I'll entertain a motion to set our property tax rate at 11.3 and leave the others at 13.1.
I'll move so.
Excuse me, motion by Squire Albright, is there a second?
That's it.
Second, Squire Greenwell. Any other questions? Hearing none, take a vote, please.
Squire Henning.
No.
Squire Armstrong.
Yes.
Squire Bevan.
Yes.
Squire Greenwell.
Yes.
Judge Lucas.
Yes.
Squire Albright.
Yes.
Okay.
Spend the 12,000 on blacktop.
Well, okay, the next item is the Health Board taxing district rate. And this is, Squire Albright is our magistrate representative on the Health Board. We set these rates here. I'm just gonna read this. Now therefore be it resolved that there is hereby levied a special ad valorem tax upon all property subject to taxation in Breckinridge County, Kentucky, as provided by KRS 212.755 at the rate of 3 cents per hundred for the assessed valuation of all real property, and at the rate of 3 cents assessed valuation of all personal property, and at the rate of 3 cents per hundred of the assessed valuation of all motor vehicles in Breckinridge County as of January 1 of 2023, The motor vehicle tax rate will be applicable to the calendar year beginning January 1, 2024. That's the same rate as it's been for several years as far as for the health board as well. So I'll entertain a motion to accept those, the tax rate for the health board.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by, excuse me, Squire Bevan, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Squire Albright, any other questions? Hearing none, take roll, please.
Squire Henning.
Yes.
Squire Armstrong.
Yes.
Squire Bevan.
Yes.
Squire Greenwell.
Yes.
Judge Lucas.
Yes.
Squire Albright.
Yes.
Yes, this next item is the Breckinridge County Public Library tax rate.
We're just accepting those.
And we're just accepting these from the board. Sarah, would you want to speak to us, Sarah?
And we went with matching compensating rate, real property be 7.2, personal property 7.2, and then our motor vehicle is always 3. And then I gave you all another paper that has some of our facts from our annual report. So each year we do an annual report for the state. We had 47,082 library visits, and that's between all 3 of our locations. Some of our popular programs, we have an annual petting zoo that kicks off our summer reading. We had dinosaur encounters this year, which was really fun. We did that in November and at our summer reading. We've done a few new partnerships. We've been working with the shelter to do Read with a Shelter Dog, and we did Read with Shelter Kittens, which was a really good program. I think they had a few animals that were adopted from the program, so that was really nice. We had several kids that came and read to the animals. We've had 3 job fairs at this point. We've had another one since the annual report, and we've had, adding that one in, we've had about 77 job seekers that have come and visited with the businesses to try to find jobs. I'm not for sure. I think we've had 1 or 2 for sure that were hired from the job fairs, but I'm not for sure on some of the others. We have a seed library that we do each year where people can come in, and we call it checkout seeds, but we don't expect them to bring the seeds back, so that people can start their own gardens at home, and that's something we've worked with the master gardeners to create. We also give with our ARPA funds garden beds at the elementary schools and at the library to do a gardening program. So those are some of the kind of different things. Of course, we have books and ebooks. That's been really popular. And that's just a few of our facts that we have there.
Good. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the library tax rates for this next year. Motion Squire Greenwell, or second? Second Squire Armstrong. Any questions for Sarah? Hearing none, take a vote, please.
Squire Armstrong.
Yes.
Squire Bevan.
Yes.
Squire Greenwell.
Yes.
Judge Lucas.
Yes.
Squire Albright.
Yes.
Squire Henning.
Yes.
Next item is the detention center pay scale. And Terry, you want to, what has changed from the last time we approved?
Just the 2 on there that I mentioned after the last meeting, I just didn't realize they only went up just a few cents, so the captain and the Class D coordinator.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, any questions for Terry before we ask for
What's the effective date of this?
We wanted to make it effective when all the rest of them did, so was that July 1?
So we'll have to retroactive it back to July 1.
that's right, back to July 1. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve our pay scale. Motion to Squire Armstrong, is there a second?
Second.
Second Squire Henning, any questions? Hearing none, take a vote.
Squire Bevan.
Yes.
Squire Greenwell.
Yes.
Judge Lucas.
Yes.
Squire Albright.
Yes.
Squire Henning.
Yes.
Squire Armstrong.
Yes.
Okay, all yes is the pay scale is approved effective back to July 1.
It may or may not reflect on this pay period though. Well, I'll tell Katie as soon as court's over, but if not, it'll be on the next check.
Okay, next item is the sheriff's revenue bond increase. We do this every year, of course. This year, it's, we need to increase it up to the $750,000. I say our sheriff, he was supposed
He's
to
not
be here.
here,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know. But anyway,
I
it's
got
gonna be
court
for the
and
months
here,
of-
so I'm
Pardon
back
me?
and forth. I got court and here, so I'm
Yeah.
running back and forth. So they had district court today.
I knew they'd catch you sooner or later. This will be for November, December, and January. Will be the increase up to $750,000. I'll entertain a motion to approve that increase.
I'll move so.
The motion by Squire Albright, is there a second? Second by Squire Armstrong. Any questions? Hearing none, take roll please.
Squire Greenwell.
Yes.
Judge Lucas.
Yes.
Squire Albright.
Yes.
Squire Henning.
Yes.
Squire Armstrong.
Yes.
Squire Bevan.
Yes.
Yes, next item is the 2024 litter abatement grant funding. We need to approve this grant. This is something we do every year. So I'll entertain a motion to approve that, and authorize me to sign that litter abatement grant. There's not an amount because it's set after, I think, that November, what it shows. Okay, motion by Squire Greenwell, or second?
Second.
Second by Squire Henning. Any questions?
What all is this grant for?
It's for the ones that, the jail that is along the roadsides and things like that, so. It usually amounts to 50,000 or so.
Yeah, something like that. We have to spend so much time, so many hours on the road picking up trash.
It could be for anybody, correct? Like if a group wanted to,
Non-profit, I believe.
yeah, if they wanted to go out and earn some money, they could do it.
Yeah, yeah,
$100 a mile.
Mhm.
The trash or cash programs would be.
yeah. Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, take roll please.
Squire Albright.
Yes.
Squire Henning.
Yes.
Squire Armstrong.
Yes.
Squire Bevan.
Yes.
Squire Greenwell.
Yes.
Judge Lucas.
Yes. Next item is the animal shelter report. We'll make a notation, we've received that. They're kind of stuffed right now to the gills, I think, as far as dollars. Okay, next item is the 911 coordinator report, for second quarter. We'll make a notation, we've received that. Next item is the sheriff's activity report. We'll make a notation, we received that as well. He's gone, I was gonna ask him to, he had any comments about it, but he's gone back to court, okay. Next item is the treasurer's report. We'll make a notation, we've received that as well. Next item is the treasurer's monthly report. We'll make a notation, we've received that monthly document. Next item is the amended annual settlement. There are just a couple little things that were bookkeeping as much as anything, Laura, so that would make an notation, we've received the amended copy of that. It amounted to less than $100 of some
Right.
things. Yeah. Okay. Next item is the jailer's report.
We got 143 state inmates, so it's a little bit better than the past few months have been.
Good. 203 total. Good. Okay, next item is a guest comment, Kathy Beckley. Kathy Beckley.
Okay,
There's
if I
Kathy.
stand here?
You can, or come to the podium if you want, Kathy.
Okay.
That's fine right there.
I just wanted to make a few comments about the roads in our area. We're on Lee Miller Road, right off of 259. I think we're kind of on the edge of Breckinridge County. And I have some neighbors here and some friends from Tools Creek, and we're just all very concerned about our roads. Actually, when they do repairs and they chip out areas and put gravel in, the gravel's supposed to settle down and then you're supposed to come back and pave them, and it's making the roads even worse because the gravel never settles and people come through. And I think there was a couple that I know, Brandon Henning knew about. Someone had a broken hip, and I don't think EMS could even get back to the people. And there was another older couple that was going through one of the repaired areas and ran off in a ravine because of the gravel.
So we're just concerned, when are our roads gonna be paved? And I know a lot of people are concerned taxes go up, but it doesn't seem like the roads have been paved in a long time. I know we're concerned about winter coming up, if they don't do something to those areas and snow plow trucks come through, there's just gonna be a big mess, so. And I know that, Mr. Henning also told me that you all had some equipment that was coming in October, a road grader and a backhoe, and I just wondered, will that be all the equipment that you need, and you will be able to do some of the repairs in the fall with the new equipment, or, you know, when do you feel like the roads will be taken care of?
Well, we've got some funding that actually was set aside for the internet, and I don't know, we're gonna talk about it next meeting, so, the issue is just funding money. That's what it's, Kathy, as much as anything. We had turned in, talking about Tools Creek Loop, we had talked about, well, Wilson, Wilderness, and Tools Creek. We had actually turned it in to the, contractor that's doing our, Magle, that's doing our work. And for some reason, they refused to do it. They said it was too dangerous, or I can't remember. Brandon, you may know.
I haven't heard, I knew Wilson's Wilderness, there was some trees that was too close to the road. They couldn't go all the way through, but, Tools Creek Loop, I just heard there was some discrepancies about it, and I haven't heard exactly why yet.
Excuse me, she's from Tools Creek.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Easement, can they cut the trees? Like you said,
Well,
we're on Wilson Wilderness, Tools Creek, and we are the ones with the older gentleman that fell over the hill. And the ambulance had a hard time, they sent a truck back there, and that guy on the radio was saying, we can't find it. There's no road signs, our road signs keep disappearing.
Yeah, we keep putting them up, somebody keeps stealing them.
There's gotta be a way to attach them somehow that they won't take them, but, we've had trucks run off in the ditch, and they had to knock the windshield out to get the lady out of the truck.
Is it, when you go down the hill and go right, that drop off is on the left as you're going?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was really weeded, and you just get one wheel up and you're down. My husband went down there. And they had to excavate him out of there, so it's just.
We plan on actually, probably putting rock on the left side, or we're gonna kind of go over to the right side and maybe widen the road. Of course, there's a cliff over here on the side, you can't go too far, about 3 feet. We can widen it that way and maybe put some guardrail or something there. We're looking at that part of it. I tell you, we've had such a mess with the July rains washing our roads. We got roads that are washed out everywhere across the county.
But the last time they chipped and sealed our road, well, only time,
Yeah.
back in 2016, and they said they'd be back the next year to pave it. And not been back. And
Yeah.
we keep filling our own potholes up. Out of our own pockets, just so that we can have a safe road to drive on.
We, the boys, the guys at the road department, they've been looking, we've looked at it 3 or 4 times to get the I guess, safety issue first, and then it's just a matter of the funding and so forth for it. The hill you all are talking about, is it the, if you're going down Wilson's, instead of turning, going back like where we're talking about, is it that hill that's right in front of us there?
Yeah, that one's bad there, and on up and around, there's just spots there that's really bad.
Once you turn left on the Tools Creek Loop, there's the hill that goes up to your left, correct? Is that?
It's that whole circle back there. You put gravel down whenever we get a rain. We've got ruts out of this deal. We got some friends down there. They'll come around, smooth it out. But then when the next rain, you got ruts in there that deep. And that ambulance couldn't even go around that way when they picked up my neighbor.
And we have kids that are having to walk down that hill all the way out to 259 because the bus can't come back there.
Because their parents both work.
And the parents work, so their grandparents are gonna have to take them down the hill in the winter, which is gonna be almost impossible. She's got a little kid. So, the kids are having problems.
Did you say the contractor said the road was too dangerous to
Yeah, if it's
blacktop?
dangerous for them, what do you think it is for us?
Yeah, I know, that's exactly. If you'll look on that list, remember, they left those 2 roads vacant and put 2 more, well, they put the industrial park extension and something else. Yeah, that's what Magle said. They refused to do it. Of course, our guys, we've got the equipment to do it.
Does the trees overhang that road real bad?
If the tree is right on the road, and I know a couple of the trees that he's talking about, one's on Wilson Wilderness and one's on Tools Creek. If they're on the easement, cut them down, we don't care.
Well, what I was thinking, if they overhung it real bad, their trucks are all large, so maybe when they get their dumps up, they're worried about hanging in the trees, I don't know, that may be.
I don't know if that was the reason either.
I know there's a lot of trees on that road that hang over the road.
Yeah, there
Pretty
is.
much keep it, shaded all the time.
Well, I mean, we would like an answer why they're not doing it. You know, is it because of the trees? Is it because they don't want to do it, or?
I don't,
Or nobody
to be honest,
cares?
I don't know the answer right now, but I'm gonna I'll talk to Nago and see, John Hyde.
If it's trees, well, cut them, Sheriff.
Well, yeah, if it's trees, yeah, I don't think that's what it was. I don't remember it being, mentioned by our guys, about the tree park. There was a telephone pole back there, I know that's in the way, but that they can go
It
around.
may.
I think.
Doesn't
Look at me.
the pavers go in and out? They do.
Well, it goes
I see
out-
them on the
it
highway.
goes- It goes, I think 10 or 11 feet is the narrowest thing there, I believe is what the minimum is. It goes out to 19 feet, so I know that, but I think it's 10 or 11
Judge,
feet.
we do have a petition with a lot of folks' signatures if y'all
Yeah,
would like.
yeah, yeah, you can present it, and like I say, I'll pass it. I'll talk with Nago and see what their reasoning was, what the problem was with them giving us a quote, because it was on the list of them to do. And-
So after you talk to them, how can we find out what they say?
Well, just call my office, I'll find out something, or call
Okay.
Brandon out of the, 6th district, that's in his district, call him or me, either one.
Okay.
We'll have an answer for you here,
Thank
maybe
you.
even later on today.
Okay.
If I can get hold of John Hyde, well, I'll find out what their problem was, and how much it would be to actually do that.
We're only talking, our whole area, both loops is only like 2 miles.
Yeah.
And there's 10 families that live back there constant, so.
There's
Our
we've got-
roads, I'm sorry, our roads are probably a lot longer, and we do have some
Yeah.
loops as well. We have a lot of issues with needing guardrails, which I'm not sure if you're using something different than the guardrails, but whatever it is, we've had people go over in ravines, and there's some drop-offs that could really be dangerous. I know there's been people run off the road because they're so narrow, and we also had wanted, I know Al Barrett is one of my neighbors and your friend, and he had wanted just the entrance to Lee Miller just widened a little bit. There's some gravel there, but you can't really have two vehicles pulling in and out, and there's loops in the road where it's hard to see the Amish, it's hard to see bicycles, it's hard to see people coming over, when you're pulling in and out. And I had suggested putting a no outlet sign there, because the only way in our area, which is probably about 4 miles all the way around, but, is to go in Lee Miller right by 259 and come out that way. And I was hoping that that would detour some of the strange people that come through just kind of looking, because we do get characters. And we have a close-knit neighborhood that takes care of everybody. We are full-time people that live here, that have moved here, and our area has grown. I know Brandon's been back there, and we have lots of new buildings, so lots of more taxes and votes of people that are here permanently like me. And I just appreciate any of you all keeping in mind to add monies to road repair and get paving done as soon as you can. So I appreciate you hearing me.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you.
The entrance there at Lee Miller, the state is actually going to improve 259 from the bridge back to Lee Miller Road. And we were actually going to do some work on that, and then I talked to the state to get approval. And that's when they told me that project was already been bid and let. So hopefully this fall sometime it'll be done too. And that will improve. There's a big gas line that goes, you know what I'm talking about, Kathy, underneath that roadway there. And they won't let us dig or do anything
Right.
there. We checked that several years ago about widening that entrance. And I guess it's whoever the
We also in our area had the same trouble that Tools Creek had, where trees were grown up like crazy, and they say they're supposed to come through like every 5 years and trim trees back. So the electric lines in our power outages were just constantly going, because every time the wind blew, the trees were hitting power lines and our power was going out, and they finally came through. It had been 15 years, and they trimmed back all the tree limbs and stuff that were in the way of the road and the power lines. So I think some of the areas probably need that too as well. We were grateful that they did ours.
Okay, well, thank you all. We'll see what we can do to address those. I'll get hold of Mago.
How is the contract blacktop coming along? How many roads
Pretty
have
good.
they done this year?
They've done 5, I think.
I've got bills on 3.
They got 2 up in your area there, in Big Springs area.
Meadow Lane, H Ford, and Powell Ford is all I've
Jesse
got.
Priest, they got Jesse Priest, and it seemed like it was one more. that they-
Jesse Priest was done.
Yeah, it was done Friday, I think, so.
Everything looked pretty good on it.
I've just been on the Meadow Lane, that's the only one we've been on so far, but it looked good. It was
Calvary Church still on that list.
What is it?
Calvary Church.
Calvary Church is on that list too.
It's on the list.
It is.
What about chicken season? They started or
They're
getting
gonna
ready?
start today, supposed to be, I haven't talked to them this morning yet. They were supposed to start today, so.
How's the bush hog coming along?
Well, the boom mower, bush hog, we got 3 of them, the mowers. Of course, we probably ain't got 3 today, but the boom mower, I still got one down on Owensboro trying to get it out. I don't think this came down over a year.
Can we just go ahead and cut our losses with that one?
Well, we're in the tractor and everything's really good on it, and the boom mower itself, we haven't had a lot of problems with it up until last year. And the motor on the head part of it worked loose and messed the pistons up in that, we put new pistons in, and they've had the pump rebuilt and so forth, so we're into it now to where I think we're still better off to go ahead and fix it though.
Why do they say it's taking a year to get fixed?
Nobody knows how to fix it.
Working back.
Bought it used.
I think we need to, that's one thing I had on my list, I think we need to look into buying a new lawnmower. Our roads are getting terrible.
You talking about tractor and lawnmower?
Yes. Our roads are getting terrible, and we can take that tractor, we can take the lawnmower off of it, and still use it for,
Oh, yeah, we can
you
use
know, a
it.
bush hog. We
We
can buy a
can
bush
use it.
hog go behind it, like those 10-foot bush hogs like we bought before, but I'd like to see us look into getting a price on a new lawnmower, because, I mean, I got, get no telling how many calls and 311 requests.
I've got several intersections need to be cut back.
So,
Oh, yeah.
could we get some prices on it?
Yeah.
You can see?
Did we also get some prices on the new skid steers and attachments? That'd be a pretty versatile machine and several things.
Yeah, we probably would need to wait until next budget year, though, guys. We don't wanna spend all of our money in 1 year. The last time I talked with, on John Deere now, the last time I talked with, was about $150,000 for tractor.
I think we really ought to just buy one, be done with it.
Well, then, folks, we can still use 3 of them, it'll be making a bigger discount. Okay. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, Jim.
I hear a lot of reports from the various departments in the county. Does the road department do any, tell everybody what's happening? They do a report?
Not really, usually through me or the masters are the ones that kind of keep up with
It's not bad.
what they're doing.
To me, it'd be beneficial to us as, you know, people in the county to be able to see what our road department is actually doing. You know, we sit here and think, you know, Calvary Church is on the list, but when's it on the list? This year, next year, 5 weeks, 2 days, what's it up? What's
I
up?
tried to put it on my Facebook page, we put it on the county's Facebook and website, well, Facebook, I should say. We try to do that to inform people. Of course, if you're not on a computer, it doesn't matter.
Could they give us a report that showed bragging even, you know, what they've accomplished?
Yep.
Right now, we sit back and don't know anything about any road in the county.
In fact, next year,
Talk about
next month, I should say, not next year, next month, I'll try to have a little capsule, I'll get it right, capsule of what we've done maybe for the last month or so. I'll try to remember to do that too.
It would be appreciated.
I can do that.
What about the tile there at the intersection of Hooks Lane, Tools Creek? Well, we talked about it
Yeah,
for a while, I'm just wondering how far down the list we are.
Well, we got several others ahead of it that are more urgent, I'll say. That one I saw the other day, it is sunk in. It needs to be probably dug up and replaced. I hate cutting it before the winter though. It'd be better at least just during the winter and then maybe next spring.
I know that I brought it up back in December, January, trying to get it done, maybe while school was out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have so much traffic in there. Just-
Yeah, we got several. We had a road at the bridge on Hudson Fairfield, we got it finished last week. Kathy?
Is it true that, you all hired someone new for the road? Some type of position where you hired someone new for the roads?
Not that I'm aware of.
I mean, we contracted Blacktop out.
I was
So-
We're
thinking
looking for a mechanic, right?
there was.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
looking for a mechanic.
Yeah, we are, we've got to do something, I'm glad you brought that up, because we do.
And the
we
only
gotta do
other thing
something.
I forgot to say, because of my neighbors, in my area on Lee Miller, there are 2 apron roads, and they're, one of them Long Lakeside, and they are completely gravel, they never have been paved.
Yeah.
And there are people that are living there now that are permanent residents, and they are asking, is there any way that the aprons can also be paved? So if you're ever looking at Lee Miller, that's.
Well, are they actual county maintained roads on our list, do you remember? What's the name of it?
North Lakeside and South Lakeside.
Yeah, they are, they're county roads.
But they're gravel, they're completely gravel.
Bush-
It's been 15.
And we've got almost 700 county roads that we maintain. That's what's so critical. The funding we got, you know, we can just barely keep them all going, I was thinking. And we try to work on the ones that are the very worst, you know, try to keep them going as much as we can. But we got almost 700 roads, and we make almost 600 miles. So, and even bush hogging, you know, it's a tough time to keep it all going, to get it all done. So,
They have bush hog ours, so I'm happy with
yeah,
it.
they
Because
try
it
to.
does make it difficult
They try to
going
get
around
at least
curves.
3 times this county, and that, like I said, when you got 600 miles, that's 1,200 miles, because you had to cut both sides of the road, so it takes a long time for it to go. So we've had 3 bush hogs going, and it's still, you think that's a lot, but it takes a long time to mow some of these roads down too. Of course, you have to fight the traffic on some of it as well to slow down, so. Okay, thank you all for your comments. Okay, the last item we've got on the agenda, the printed agenda, is a road viewing request for Squire Greenwell.
It's for the road viewing committee to look at the removal of Whitetail Lane. There's actually only 2 people back there, and their family. I think it's a mother and a daughter, I think, and they want to remove that, so I'd just like to move that the road viewing committee looks about removing that road.
What's that?
Elk Hansel also, yes, it's .452 miles.
Okay, motion by Squire Greenwell, is there a second? Second by Squire Albright, any questions? Hearing none.
We got one over there.
Oh,
So now that it's been approved to be removed, on Miss Lowry, I live on that road. How long will it take to be removed? So
well,
we
it
can
takes,
start
it's a
getting-
process, it takes about 2 months.
Okay.
Takes
And when
about
will
2
we be
months.
notified that it's our road?
Pardon me?
When will we know that it's back to our road?
Probably the October meeting will take the official action of removing it.
Is that your mother?
What's that?
Is that your mother back at the end?
At the, on Black Hill, she's on her own road.
Yeah, your mother, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I want to make sure I said that right.
Right.
Just to give you an idea, we have to post it on the road for 30 days in 3 places. We post it for 30 days, then we have to have a public hearing.
Has there
So
anybody-
that's the length of the process, and at the public hearing meeting, then during that meeting, we will make a motion to remove that road. That will be done that way you all will know, and then if you have any questions, you can call us here at the office.
Thank you.
Well, this will definitely help these other individuals that have a hard time. Again, I've been with you many times for many years trying to get that road back to a private road because we're the only ones that live on it. And that helps with anybody else having to come down there and maintain it.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, nobody comes down anyways. There's no, they would get stuck down there. So,
Is anybody else on property back there besides you all and your mother?
no, sir.
You all own all the property?
Yes.
Correct.
It shouldn't be a problem at all.
Excellent, thank you.
And I think October will do it about October, I think so. Okay,
You take a vote.
We have a motion and a second.
okay, go ahead, take a vote.
Squire Henning.
Yes.
Squire Armstrong.
Yes.
Squire Bevan.
Yes.
Squire Greenwell.
Yes.
Judge Lucas.
Yes.
Squire Albright.
Yes.
Okay, all yeses, we'll have them look at that sometime in the next.
I guess I skipped Sam. Didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
did.
snuck in on
He
us.
did. I knew it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good.
I got it,
Couple
like.
things before we
You go ahead.
adjourn,
You go
if you
ahead.
don't mind. I had sent you and John and,
Jeff,
a text about St. Clair Lane and Williamsburg Raymond. Is there any talk about us doing that ourselves? I mean, it's not a whole lot.
no, we can. Of course, the funding's gonna be the issue. We'll probably have, we're gonna talk about that Monday, the $2 million we got next meeting.
Okay.
And maybe if we can use a portion of that, we can do some of this work there.
Here, just put that in the minutes I asked about it,
Yeah.
just so. And, so we're gonna talk about the ARPA funds next meeting.
Yes,
I had that
yes,
wrote
yes,
down.
yes.
And, I brought up about tomorrow, get the bids on that. And the only other thing, I handed out some copies of, got a draft of our parks director. We had, put some money in the budget for a part-time parks director. And I just handed that out. I'd like for y'all to look over it and see if you got any thoughts or changes that might need to be done for that, so. It's nothing has to be done today. I just wanted to give y'all a copy of that and let y'all look at it. So once we do get ready to advertise for that, we'll maybe we can get something on paper, so.
Good deal.
What
Okay,
about,
anything?
yeah, I haven't, heard any word on the road viewing committee out here, Legacy.
I don't think they've actually looked at it. That's only going to a business. Now see, those are some of the things that I think we need to talk about and, you know, decide.
I think there's 3 or 4 other property owners back there
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Right now, I would almost say that they're gonna reject until something else gets built back there, maybe some homes and stuff.
There is one home.
Yeah, there's one home being built right now.
Yeah, that's not actually on that road though, is it? It's
It
off.
doesn't turn, but it goes,
Yeah.
the road that goes straight from 60.
Yeah.
Why don't we revisit the road ordinance sometime? And discuss what needs to be changed and make things a little bit more black and white.
Well, it's pretty black and white as it is. If we adhere to it, it's really black and white. If we adhere to all the specs and stuff.
Well, I feel like it leaves a whole lot of opinion, you know, on what we take in, where we could have more parameters set to where it's not solely based on opinion.
Well,
It's not, I mean, we've got some pretty,
I was gonna say, I don't
I
know.
mean, it's pretty black and white.
Well, I mean, but if the road view committee didn't want to take something in, you know, they can look at it and just say, well, I don't think it's up to spec and decline it, you know?
Well, the biggest issue is the turnaround, the cul-de-sac at the end of it. It's a 70-foot circle with 14 foot on both sides,
Right.
which makes a 98, almost 100 feet that they have to actually give a right-of-way to us. And
Right.
that's the issue that a lot of people are not happy with. But when you've got a grader that stretches from here to that wall, you know, it's hard to turn one around in a driveway. We've done that many times and had to go back and fix yards and stuff when they get off. So that was the biggest, I think, advantage really on some of them. Some of the roads I hate to say this, but years ago, they took roads in that should never have been taken into the
I
system.
agree with that.
Now, you know that, and we all know that. There's roads that never, ever, ever should have been into the county maintenance system. So that's why we're having such trouble with some of them right now. You know, it's just, the base wasn't there, the width of the road, ditches were not there, drain tiles or driveway tiles and stuff. That's the problem we get into. That's why I think this ordinance that we got, I think is a good ordinance, the way I see it. I don't think there's any, I know some of the other counties, they actually have, some of the bigger counties, they actually have to have blacktop before they leave. Of course, we're not to that point. Never will.
I think where ordinance protects us is we get a lot of requests for taking these roads that are just terrible. I mean, they're
I
just
know.
awful, and when you tell people they have to get them back up to specs, which is fair enough. You know, it's not right for us to take them in and then have to spend $200,000 to get it up to specs.
After the road has been brought in, what says that the ditches gotta stay in compliance and?
Well,
I know-
once it's taken in, we're responsible for keeping the ditches cleaned and so forth. You know, we're technically responsible. Well, like I said, we've got almost 700 roads, so it's their responsibility.
Yeah.
But that's our responsibility.
I know there's one up there in Davis District for sure that,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
that's overflowing pretty bad.
Yeah. I know exactly.
I got one of mine that air device from this terrible stuff.
Yeah.
But it's got limestone rocks in there.
I know.
You can't cut the ditches out.
We wanted to, I was telling you about that, I call it a bridge, but it's tiles and concrete that broke out last Friday, a week ago. And we repaired, we wanted to actually do a lot more, extending of the road itself, or the bridge itself, but it was solid limestone rock. And I mean, you couldn't touch it. Gary Ann had his front end loader, his track over there, and it would just bounce. I mean, it does rock, you cannot do anything. We could blast it out. That's what you're talking about. Thousands and thousands of dollars plus time to do it. So we had to go back pretty much to what we had. We did lengthen it out quite a bit. Okay, anything else?
One more thing.
One more thing.
How's the Optimus Club and the fire department getting along?
Well, as far as I know, everything's
No
okay
problem?
so far.
Everything good?
I haven't heard anything from them. I would like to ask about getting the lights back, put back up. They've been down for some time.
No, any updates on that, Dan? About the lights?
I can call Big Rivers and see if they'll come. My understanding is they weren't treated very kindly last time they were here, so
I just asked them a question, that's all.
whether we can get them here quickly, I don't know, I'll always ask them.
Are they fixed though? I mean, are they, I know they're on
Not
the ground.
They've been on the ground for some time. We just like to get them back up and out of the way.
Has the field been used much?
Consistently. We've dropped 2 pallets of field conditioner on it, brought in some dirt to fill in some holes. There's a humongous hole in left field. It actually had like a 4x4 sticking up out of it, so no one went in it. That's been filled in, but yeah, there's teams that are out there. We're gonna have kickball, in September, adults only, so you all could just have your own little, county official team.
I'm too old for that.
Leave the hole in it then. I'm sorry.
Judge, I said something to Jeff about Hendrick Moon, backside of it, downhill where Harriman lives, the old man, living room. It's just straight downhill, it's got gullies in it, it's not even a tenth of a mile long probably. It's something you put on that hillside, keep from sliding down.
See, there's another good example I was talking about. Everybody's, we got bunches of road. Hendrick Newman.
Just want to put on the record.
Okay, anything else? If not, the next regular meeting of Breckinridge County Fiscal Court is scheduled for Monday, September 18, 2023 at 9 a.m. at the courthouse. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it motion.
Motion by Squire Bevins for a second. Second by Squire Armstrong. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you all.